You are now listening to the most electrified and vilified podcast on the net, the Hot Topix Podcast. No topic shall go unmolested and uncontested. Now let's get this party started. Welcome everybody to the Hot Topix Podcast. This new episode. How are you doing today?
We're going to talk about this intro. I'm well. How are you?
Good. So this is Psycho 4081.
And
we have
Lamb Chop.
And we have the notorious Felonious Feather, who is out on assignment.
Oh, she's on vacay. Yeah, she's on vacay with her family.
She's out there having fun today.
Yes.
Initially, I made a joke about she's being chased by ICE, but I'm not going to say it this time.
Please don't. That is not right and not fair.
So today's topic, we're going to get into, since it's election season, and we've been basically dealing with this one subject for 8 years now. So it's like,
well, we only have 79 more days to go.
That's it. Really?
Mm-hmm.
79 more days. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about, not directly Trump. We're going to talk about law enforcement officers and their support, some law enforcement support of Trump.
Okay.
And we found it, well, I personally found it ironic that, you know, with his background and all the overwhelming evidence that, you know, he has so much support when it comes to certain demographics of the police department.
Okay.
You know? So we're going to talk about that. And then we have our trending news, and we're going to get started. So let's see, what's our first
our first trending news is Phil Donahue passed away this week. I think it was Sunday. He was...
It's like 84. He was 80. He was old.
He was in his 80s. You get on my nerves.
So
he was 88. Actually.
That was 88.
Yeah, he was 88.
So if you guys remember Phil Donahue back in
the Donahue show.
You said he started in what year?
1967.
1967.
Yeah.
That was before I was born.
In Ohio.
Okay.
And then moved to Chicago in 1974. So
that's when he got his show.
That's with the big show.
The big show.
So
okay.
He pretty much was the father of daytime talk. Yeah.
And I remember as far back as I can remember, Phil Donahue always had white hair. I don't remember.
I don't either now that I think about it.
So I don't know if that's, I mean.
You are right.
Was he a Targaryen?
See, here we go. Here we go.
White hair, that's since the 70s.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever, you're absolutely right.
Again, he always had good shows.
Controversial
shows. And then, like we talked about, my favorite by far was when he had the Honorable Louis Farrakhan on there, and that was a pretty good show. And for you Ice Cube fans, if you listen to his what was that? What album he had? Death Certificate. One of his albums, you'll hear the samples of people
from
talking
that show?
From the show.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
It was like, I think what we hear is violence. Remember that? And he says, but he took those clips from that Donahue show.
Gotcha.
You know? But that was a big thing back then. But R.I.P. Phil Donahue.
Yeah.
And I say you will be missed because I really enjoyed your shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we always think that people are supposed to be on air forever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
And who thought that Oprah would take over and become what she became? Because nobody really thought that she would ever beat him.
Right.
Nobody thought anyone was going to beat him, really.
Well, we said, what was it? The ones that came after him, we had Ricky Lake.
Everybody.
Jenny Jones.
Montel Jordan.
Was
it Montel Williams?
Montel Williams. This is how
yeah. Well, that's how he did it. Who else?
It was
Sally Jesse.
Raphael. That was pretty good. Yeah, it was a whole bunch of them.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah, and then we got into the real trashy ones with Springer and Morton Downey Jr.
And then Maury kind of morphed into that.
Yeah. Oh,
Geraldo. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Geraldo, let me pick on him for a second. Remember they had that big hoopla where they found Scarface's
Al
safe.
Capone. Was it Scarface?
Yeah. Al Capone.
Al
That's
Capone.
that's
Vault.
Scarface.
It was supposed to be. Yeah.
And they made this whole bit, and it was empty.
Yeah. Dust in the wind. That's what it was. Dust in the wind.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. And because TV was so limited. I mean,
Right.
it was growing then, but TV was so limited. Everybody was kind of glued
Right.
to the TV set. Yeah.
Ooh,
I think that was
hilarious.
the downfall of his career. It started going down fast after that. So
I think he went a little nuts anyway. Like to the recent time, I follow him a little bit, but he says here and there, and I'm like, God, I used to watch this guy, Geraldo. Yeah, he's
a Trump
yeah
supporter.
Yeah.
I mean, people are allowed to support who they support.
Yeah.
Because that's what America is.
But you know what? I think what I believe sometimes, and it's kind of hard, that, if you consider somebody a legitimate journalist, right? That, like, what's his name? The guy with was it Ted Koppel?
Yeah.
He laid into Sean Hannity.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He laid into him because he said, you're good at what you do. And he was talking about why he don't like, Fox News, or how his program is bad for America. That's what he asked him. He said, yeah, because you're good at what you do. And, he went on about journalism. You guys don't report news. You report opinion. And it doesn't have to be facts. Yes. And he pulled it out. And I was like, oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was like that. Like, you talk about all the old news people back in the day.
They worked hard for those stories.
They did.
And they brought some integrity to news reporting.
And now just imagine this, where you get the fastest and most likely, seem to me, the most accurate news has been TMZ. That's where it's bad.
Yeah,
so
that's very bad.
Now I like TMZ, but but I'm just saying it's just bad. Like, that type of institution is more reliable than some of the main ones that you're supposed to rely on as being legitimate journalism. And nobody likes to play, like mentioned Phil Donahue, the devil's advocate.
Right.
Is always they put their agenda up there, and then they morph it into what it is.
Yeah.
So.
And part of that is, they have to keep your attention.
Right.
We had 3 news channels, and you watched those 3 news channels, and you trusted that these people were legitimate and reported facts. But now news comes from everywhere.
And it's about ratings.
And it's about ratings, and it's about who can get to the story fast and first, and, how many clicks you're going to get, or how many likes you're going to get. So we have kind of morphed into that instant society.
And it doesn't matter how accurate your thing is.
Because they can, retract and pull back and spin it in a different kind of way when we find out it's not right.
And some of them, I think, do things on, like, all right, Fox News, where they I remember they was printing something where they had it on the television, and they kept confusing Obama's name. They kept calling him Osama bin, was it Barack bin Laden? Or they kept mixing the names up with the
they were doing that on purpose.
Yeah, you're too big of a company to make those little mistakes.
Well, didn't they just pay a big old lawsuit?
They did.
Yeah. So there's some integrity somewhere left in the world. So, and of other trending news, you wanted to talk about J-Lo and Ben.
Yes.
You know what this is?
What?
Not my business. I really don't care about them too. I'm sick of them. I am sick of them.
Well, the reason why I didn't know that, we already remember that the whole thing, they started adding names. What was it?
Bennifer, you mean?
Bennifer, J-Lo. No, they what do they call them? Were they the first one they used to add the names together?
Yeah. I think they were Bennifer. I think that was the first one, was Bennifer. I think. I don't know, because like I said, I'm sick of them. I I think we have put celebrities in a space where they really shouldn't be, but I guess that's always been that way. It's always been that way.
Well, they decided to call it quits.
Again.
Before they were not married though. They were just had a
they had a long engagement,
and they went back and forth.
Right.
Then they got married recently, within the last 2 years or a year. It's been recent.
Yeah.
And now they're divorced. So my thing is this: like, how many marriages has this been for Jennifer Lopez?
5.
She did.
I don't know.
It was the Mark guy who was the singer.
Who I thought was gonna be
the final one.
Yeah, like she had kids with him, and I thought that was gonna be the one. I really did.
She had all right. Let's say her high profile relationship. It was Diddy,
right?
Alex Rodriguez,
right?
Mark
Anthony,
Ben Affleck.
She's been married 4 times.
Oh, 4 times? Wow,
yes.
I didn't know that.
And you're right. It's been 2 years.
Oh, really?
Since they were married. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you've known somebody that long and you didn't work out the first time, I don't see, what got them back to that. I just don't understand that part. But yeah, but ain't my business.
Nope.
But I'm gonna tell it.
I don't know how many times. I mean, when do you say it's me and not the other person?
Yes.
Because at some point you have to start looking at yourself, like.
But I think even with celebrities, I think they all come with this baggage that most people don't have. I mean, they have normal baggage, right. But then just for them being celebrities, I think they just come with an extra baggage.
Yeah.
Like, because you see too many celebrities that go in and out of marriages,
right.
Or dating the next person, and always want to be on a scene. I think it's sometimes they get together just because of the optics. This will make us more popular. This will sell more records. This will sell more tickets at the movie theater or whatever. So, yeah, that's kind of funny.
I kind of like the Jay-Z and Beyonce thing. Like, they were just like, we're not talking about our relationship. Right. It's our relationship, and that's it. Like, we don't owe you an explanation about this relationship, and I think that's kind of how it should be. I don't care. I don't care about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Yeah. I don't care about like any of the
Jennifer Aniston in it.
Yeah.
But I think the funny thing about with Jay-Z and Beyonce is not them who are out there doing, promoting their. Is everybody else. Right. Everybody wants to drag them in. If it's something that has to do with her, they're going to drag him in there.
Right.
Vice versa. So, that's kind of like, I think, where they get the bad end of the stick.
Yeah, and I think it's a whole group of people out there who feel like if you're a celebrity, then I'm entitled to all of your information. And then there's a group of celebrities, I ain't gonna mention no names, Jada Pinkett Smith, who puts all of their business out there, and it's just like, I don't know where the balance is.
Yeah, I think she lost a lot of respect from people with that whole red table and the entanglement and the things with the Will Smith, the book.
I didn't even know it was a book.
Oh, yeah.
I stopped paying attention.
Her book came out and she was putting all this stuff out too.
Okay.
That was,
She didn't let him read it before it got published? Apparently not. No, I don't know. I don't know where the balance is, and I think that some people should be left alone. Like, I just want to love who I want to love and not have to explain it to the whole world.
So, I would like to do a social experiment to see how, money and fame would change a regular person like me.
Are we going to get money and fame?
So I'm asking everybody out there, I'm going to start a GoFundMe page. I would like you to donate as much as you can, no pressure. But I figure, if we can get about, $2-3 million a piece.
I think we need more than that in this day and time.
So give till it hurts. and we'll document how, it changes us. And, that'll let us know, is it really the money or is it just really somebody's personality?
I feel like if you're an asshole, you're going to be a rich asshole. That's what I feel like. If you're a kind, generous person, you're going to be a kind, generous person.
And more entitled.
Yeah. I think that's it, because I can be just as nice to you, rich or broke, if I like you.
I would like to be nice to you, rich.
Agreed. I'm not disagreeing with that. I definitely had enough of poor people's problems. Yeah, I'm definitely ready for some rich people's problems.
But I would say I think I'm a humble person anyway. I think even if I had the $100 million or whatever, I don't think some habits that I have will change. I'm still not paying more than $70 for some sneakers.
I'm about to pass out.
I'm still not paying $60 for a dress shirt. I'm not
a dress shirt, Glass. Come on, Psycho.
I'm not doing 60. I think that's a little bit overpriced. So, yeah, you shouldn't have to pay more than $60 for a shirt and pants. I mean, not to 60 a piece.
I'm glad you clarified.
I'm not going to do it. So yeah, I'm not doing that. And I might.
But you're going to have a $4,000
television. Yes.
Well, everybody got different priorities. That's all it is.
Yep.
Everybody had different priorities.
My place going to be laid. It's going to be this big old 120-inch television and 4 bean bags.
Your ass is too old for a bean bag, and I'm not coming to your house sitting in one. I'm letting
you know that.
I need a whole chair. I cannot get up out of no bean bag.
I would have the chair that you push the button and it kind of helps you up. So.
Oh my goodness. So in other news, because we could go off the rails. All right, so this one we're going to talk about more on the government and a defense contractor. This was like 12 days ago, it was reported. Defense contractor arrested after printing 150 pages of top secret documents and is cuffed on the way to Mexico. Okay, so he top secret U.S. documents?
Yes, so he was a contractor, and I guess while he was doing it, he was making photocopies of stuff. And anybody who's been in the military whatever, you're not supposed to photocopy anything unless you have some people there, and they have strict rules about that. So apparently he had some documents at his home, same thing that Trump did basically, but it wasn't in the bathroom, and he didn't try to go run to Mexico.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so this person gets arrested, but Trump.
Yeah. And you know what? But not to defend Trump, but in that position, you're going to have,
Well, they did say other presidents had information too. You're right.
What Trump's problem was he lied about it,
and he didn't want to give him back.
He didn't want to give it back. So that's the part where you just you pass that threshold of, mishandling.
Okay.
That. So yeah, this guy, I wonder how much time he's going to get. And he said he wouldn't had no intention of doing whatever. He was going down there for vacation with a backpack.
Top secret, right? With top secret documents, that's part of my vacation plan.
Marked in there. And he was arrested by the sheriff's department, but his name was Gokhan Gun. He was an electrical engineer who worked with the Air Force. Wow. So he was arrested that Friday as he was ride-hailing. As a ride-hailing driver was about to take him to the airport for a flight to Puerto Vallarta.
How did they find him? It doesn't say.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of times, they wait. Sometimes they'll bait you too to see what you're going to do.
See how far you go.
So I don't know how they got it, but he was charged with unauthorized removal and retention of classified materials. He could face up to 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. It doesn't say. I guess it does. In a voluntary interview with the FBI, the contractor denied taking anything classified back to his home and suggested materials found with such classifications might be expired. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So why take them if they expire?
Yeah.
So they could have been watching him and just, like you said, see how far he's going to go with him.
And some things will trigger, suspicion, and then they'll just put it in there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then last news, and this is going to kind of segue into what our main topic is, but we have the 4 former officers accused of staging a sham raid to extort. Actually, was millions.
That's crazy.
It said nearly 37. Oh, initially I thought it was 37,000.
No, that's why I kept saying, how did he have that much money in his home?
Okay, I'm thinking of $37,000 in cash under the mattress. Okay, so 37 million from a California man. So apparently, it was 2 sheriff deputies and 2 Australian military personnel. Mm-hmm. They came up with this fake raid to go in there, and they were hired by the businessman's partner. They had a dispute.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so they went in there and tried to force him to fork over his portion of the business, which happened to be $37 million. So, yeah, initially when I read it, I thought it was going to be like he had 37,000 in cash because I wouldn't imagine $37 million.
Right. It was like how you can't have that much money in your house. Like, what is he doing?
Goes back to that thing. Well, we turned in the 37,000.
Absolutely, Vicky.
Maybe they had a Vicky that was working with him. So
absolutely.
But yeah, crime does not pay.
No, because they going to jail. Yeah,
and they were in their two of them were in their 60s. A couple of them, I think, were in their late 30s or 40s. But you spent all this time in law enforcement, enforcing the law,
right?
And then you go do this, and I don't know how much they got paid out of it,
right?
I would imagine it would be handsomely, but it kind of makes you think that if they gave into that or they participated into that, what did they do their entire
career?
Yeah. And they got the career's got to be long because they were in their 60s.
Right.
Yeah. So
listen, I used to do a DWI group at one of my jobs, and most of them were, people who got off of work, drank a couple, police pulled them over. But it was a few in there who were clearly selling pharmaceuticals.
Right.
And after group, one guy was just like, "How much can I pay you to say I finished this group without me having to show up?"
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
That's what he said. So I said to him, "You do not have enough money."
That's funny.
Period. Like, you just don't have enough money.
You know, now go down to the chicken coop and get me a chicken box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, you don't have enough money.
Yeah. So one of the things that really bothered me, even in my youth, and I say like my 20s, when I really started getting into that West Coast hip hop, the one song that really stood out to me was F the Police.
Right.
And I sat there, and this is my first time actually hearing that type of music, and I sit there with my headphones on. I'm like, oh my God, these guys are dangerous. What's going on? I was like, so and the thing that popped in my mind is like, oh, this obviously seems to be a problem.
Right.
We're hearing it for too many, and they're very detailed in it.
Right.
So I was like, well, maybe I'll try to do that job because I feel I'm incorruptible. Is that a word, incorruptible or uncorruptible?
I don't know.
I'm not able to be corrupted. Okay. So that was one of the things that I thought. I said, let me try that, whatever. But it just amazes me that in this day and age that we have people that get into law enforcement, and they get there, and we had the Baltimore gun task force.
Yep.
That did crazy stuff.
Yep.
Like, this is TV worthy, right? And then, but how do you do that? What's the solution for that? You would figure that, law enforcement officers have a respect for law and order.
Right.
They respect the judiciary. They respect the legislature that makes the laws. They respect the prosecutor. Everybody in there that's working to, keep society safe. And that's why a lot of times they, when they get on the job, say, why do you want to be a police officer? I want to help somebody. That's what they say. So I want to help somebody. Everybody says the same thing. I'm certain of that, right?
Right.
So how do you?
No, you did not.
Sorry. That is Felonious Feather calling from her thing. She's on location. Felonious Feather, how are you doing?
Hi.
Just wanted to show you, man. Is it a Monday? Today's not even Monday. Why are you having a podcast?
It's Thursday. We're doing part 2. Well, it was supposed to be part 2, but we're doing a makeup.
I'm showing you my apartment.
So she's in.
Very nice.
Can we tell where you are?
Beautiful.
She's down there in sunny Orlando, having a great time. Nice facilities. What would you rate the name of the? What would you rate the quality of the place? We'll give him a shout out. What would you rate it? 1 out of 10.
And they gave me a VIP. They said I had to sit my check-ins, VIP sit-down check-in thing. As an owner that I am, a junior partner.
What would you rate the hotel? And what's the name of the hotel?
Well, I like it. I don't know what the hotel is called, but it's called Blue Green Vacation Homes. So.
Oh, nice.
That's not what the hotel's called.
Oh, the fountains. Sorry.
Olodo.
You know
Oh,
what?
no, you too.
What would you rate it? 1 to 10.
Well, see, look at it by yourself. This is the living room.
Madam,
Oh, it has it.
madam, I'm asking you how you rate it.
Oh, that's pretty.
Well, I'll give it it's like an apartment, so I'll give it like a 9.
Nice.
Okay.
Fun. Yeah.
That's good.
So far, so fast.
Okay.
Oh, have a good
Yeah.
time.
Thank you. Are you recording right now or no?
Yes,
Yes,
recording.
we are.
You're on the air.
Okay, I was going to ask how her stuff is, how she's doing and stuff. But okay. Thank you.
You have fun.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What's your rainbow robe on?
You know what? Why are you special?
Oh, Lord.
Why are you so special?
So she's down there in Orlando, going to Disney World, taking her son to Disney World.
Having a vacay with
having
her
a
family.
Very good time. So that's a good thing.
Yay.
And hope she has a good time and be safe and
Yes.
don't walk around in a drunken stupor and
She's
fall
down
down.
there with her son. I'm sure she'll hold it together.
He's 10. He drinks.
So,
All right,
back
so-
to what we were discussing.
We're talking about, law enforcement, respecting the law and the whole process. Your
Right.
whole career was
Right.
based on that. So I'm going to tell you a story. Recently, I got into a debate on a police group, Facebook group.
Okay.
right? So what had happened was one of the members posted something and about a local official who was accused of doing something wrong, not taking money or anything like that, but making something happen that might have been, a violation of the local law,
Okay.
right? And it was just an accusation, whatever.
So the person wasn't charged.
Wasn't charged, wasn't indicted, wasn't anything. I don't even think it was any formal accusations. It was
Okay.
kind of like So they wanted they was the local GOP. He's a Democrat, but the local GOP said, hey, you need to resign and you need to drop out of the race for whatever. And everybody got on there and was saying, hey, he's crooked, he need to resign, right? So I replied,
Did he resign?
no.
Good.
Okay,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got on there, I said, well, now we care about corruption in the law, right? Oh, you would have thought I was talking about somebody's mama. So everybody in the world jumped on there and defended who they, who I referred to in my, my comment. And then, let me back up. So it was another comment that they was talking about Kamala Harris.
Okay.
And the comment mentioned DEI candidate or something of the sort. It was that keyword DEI.
Right.
You talk
that
about
dog whistle.
Yes. DEI, woke. What's the other one they use? The kind of disparage people of color or certain groups. But that's the new thing now. The DEI, woke, affirmative action.
Affirmative action. That's
whatever.
what I was thinking. Right.
So now, mind you, Kamala, whether you like her or not,
Right.
Kamala Harris is a law school graduate.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no dummies that graduate law school
Absolutely not.
and pass the bar.
And pass the
Right.
bar.
She was a prosecutor for, one of those hokey, Midwest population 10 towns. This was the city of San Francisco.
Oh, you did not say
Right.
10.
Yeah,
Population of 10.
Right. A major city. And then she became the attorney general of probably, and I'm not being biased or anything like that, but California is one of the most important states that we have in the United States. So that's credentials. She became a senator. Right. And as far as I remember, those 3 positions are elected positions. So You know, the thing about them saying DEI, I've seen that in the news. I'm pretty sure you've seen it in the news how certain, you know, Republican pundits or news correspondents, whatever, they throw that in there, right?
Right.
So
as like it's a bad thing.
Like it's a bad thing, yeah. And I think it was something else that they said it, and I said something to him. I said, you know, there's black officers in this group, right? Right? And then somebody made a comment. I don't even remember what the comment was, but I went back to see if it was going to be a debate on it because I was ready. So instead of them saying, "Oh, I apologize," and you know, this is not what we, you know, blah blah blah, whatever, they could say, "Oh, we was just joking," which I wouldn't have took anyway, you know. But they could have said something. What they decided to do, which I figured that's their thing now, is to just delete the post, like it never happened. They've done it before,
right?
So every time they put up questionable comments or posts, if somebody calls them out on it, when I say somebody, it's me, right?
So are you saying no one else calls them out?
No, nobody. That
Not
might be
even other.
No, nobody. It might be one other person that calls them out sometimes. I don't know if it's because they just don't monitor it, whatever. And I don't monitor it either.
You don't see their posts,
right? But and that officer just happened to be the fair practices person when they was in the department. So, you know.
Wait a minute. The person who made the comment about her being
the person who defended or would comment to call people out on certain things.
Okay.
And I won't say he doesn't call out people, but he'll make a comment that kind of, you know, says something like, you know, that doesn't make sense. You know, when they do when they get into their whole rhetoric.
Okay.
You know, I'm the one who calls people out.
Right.
Like saying, you know, that's questionable and that's da-da-da-da, right? And then usually the reply is that I'm just baiting or race baiting somebody.
Oh, wow.
It's not like, you know, I say, hey, listen, that's not cool, you know, X, Y, and Z. And then like, you're always playing a race card. So that was that. The next post they put up was a political post. When I was just referring to, and I mentioned that like, oh, you guys care about corruption, and what about Trump? And I described all the stuff that he had,
right?
All the charges,
all the facts,
every factual stuff, right? Verifiable stuff. And then, you know, everybody attacked me basically and defended him in every type of way, calling it, you know, oh, that's weaponized. They all use the key phrases from TV.
Right.
You're weaponizing the Justice Department, whatever. I said, oh, the Justice Department.
Weaponizing the Justice Department by saying that these facts.
Yes. Not that I was weaponizing, that the government, Biden, was weaponizing the justice system or Justice Department.
So it's Biden's fault that he got a rape case, and it's Biden's fault that he got convicted of 34 charges.
And, you know, always throw this out there too. I said, well, you can say that if you like, but I don't think the Justice Department convenes a grand jury
just
and let them vote and let them, you know what I'm saying? Is you're dismissing a whole system that you thrived in, that you worked in,
right?
You worked
and supposed to protect and
exactly
uphold the law for.
So when they got into the all right, so after that I posted something. It was an article that was posted about Trump and the grand jury. And I remember he was always considered co-conspirator number one, not just in Arizona, but in a few other states.
Right.
So the article said that the grand jury wanted to indict co-conspirator number one because they indicted the other guys,
right? Guys
and girls,
right?
You know, so they indicted the other people. They didn't indict co-conspirator number one, and reason why they didn't do it was because the prosecutor said, well, it's going to be hard to do because the Department of Justice has a policy of not going after overlapping charges.
Okay.
Which I thought was ridiculous anyway.
So they didn't say he was not guilty.
No.
That there's just some little one-line thing in the law.
Yes. No, it's not in the law. It's not even law. It's their own policy.
Okay.
So
that state's policy.
The grand jury said, yes, the information provided, he should be indicted. We want to indict him.
And the grand jury are regular American citizens
people
who vote.
Yes. What happens in a grand jury, they bring regular people,
right,
regular American citizens, voting people, whatever, into a room. and they just present all the evidence that they have, and based on what evidence was presented, they'll say, well, yeah, that's enough
to go forward,
felony charges or whatever. Yes. And they decided, hey, they did, because they got all the co-conspirators, not all, but I think most of them, but they wanted to get co-conspirator number one. We believe that he should be charged with these crimes,
right,
in Arizona, no less, right? So, but they decided not to. That's the article I posted. I said Trump would have had more felony charges, but they decided not to because of a DOJ policy of overlap, which I still think is ridiculous.
Right.
You know, if you got 40 places that you go all of them, you don't know
Right.
what's going to happen in each state.
right,
So that was it, right? I didn't say anything that was, that wasn't factual. I didn't say anything that was opinionated. Like I
Right.
didn't say, well, he should have. I didn't say. I said this is the reasons why, and I posted it. Again, you would have thought I talked about somebody's mother, because everybody, oh, he should be banned from this group, and he's always starting trouble. Like I just posted a news fact after somebody posted a political fact. I mean,
Right.
not even a fact, but a political article. I presented facts.
Right.
You did politics. I'm not doing politics. This is law and justice, right? So, she said, well, can't we get him banned permanently?
wow,
I'm like, and I ain't gonna tell you what actually goes in my mind, right? When I said, I said, first of all, I wasn't banned the first time.
why were you? What happened?
She thought that I was banned because they haven't heard anything from me in a while.
Okay.
Because remember, like I used to go in there and
all the time, right?
So I just chose not to. And I said I was never banned. I just chose not to respond.
Engage.
I just didn't go in there and look. So then everybody else started defending the charge. Oh, it's a kangaroo court. Again, weaponizing the justice system. And I just really wish it was just a fair this and that. And I said, well, my whole argument was, okay, as a matter of this, who you want representing the country,
right?
And you have a convicted felon, and I went down the line: convicted felon, fraud,
sex offender,
fraudulent businessman, twice impeached, whatever. No, actually, I didn't even mention the twice impeached thing, right? So I said, or you want somebody who's a prosecutor, attorney general, a lawyer, vice president, senator, whatever. And I said it doesn't make sense to me that law enforcement officers, either former or present,
right,
that would support somebody who's on the other side of the law versus somebody who's on your side.
If he were anyone else,
absolutely,
other than Donald Trump, lock him up would be the phrase.
Absolutely,
everyone in that group would be like, he doesn't deserve to be out on the street.
Bingo. And I've heard it before.
Yeah, he needs to be in jail. A, B, C, and
right.
D. So if he was anybody else other than Ann, that continues with his whole narcissism that says I'm different from all the rest of y'all.
Right. And you know what kills me about that too? They say, well, they'll bring up stuff like she doesn't support law enforcement, right? She was in the defund the police movement.
Okay.
Right? And I was like, well, here's where I said, education is important. So if you know anything about defund the police, it wasn't that, they were taking money from the police officers just to short them. They were taking the money and reallocating it to other things, right, so the police didn't have to have those responsibilities.
Right.
So, send $30 million from the police fund to social services. So now social services will take over those calls or those
mental
things,
health call that the police officer isn't really trained to do.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not for defunding the police because, you could take some things away from them, but, you still need that money because you're never going to have enough money.
Right.
But the thing was, you're going to say that she did this, and then you got somebody here that started an insurrection, said nothing about.
They were visiting.
They visit. They would say, in certain circles, they're patriots.
Okay.
They were wrongly arrested, and they were just they were doing their First Amendment rights or whatever they were. And I'm like,
to try to hang the vice president is your First Amendment right.
Yeah. And the break in, even though some of those officers, you could see them on camera, was letting them in. Right. So I'm like,
and didn't 5 people die?
Yes, exactly.
Like, how do you defend that?
And two officers committed suicide
Right.
after the fact. I don't know who that. Maybe they were the ones that opened the door and they thought something was going to happen. I don't know. But the fact is that, these people were beat with poles.
Yeah.
These are officers now. Where is the support
for
the
them?
officers? Exactly.
Right.
So, when I talked to him about that, and it was always, you're playing a race card, and so but that was something totally separate. But the guy comes in there, mind you, I never mentioned race of anything, right? So he comes in out of the blue and says, yeah, Brian, you're making a fool out of yourself, and you're always playing a race card. I said, race card? Are you even on the right post? All I posted was a news article, and without giving a personal opinion,
right?
So he kept saying race card. I'm like, where is the race card coming? That's the new thing. They'll say, and so you won't call them, racist or imply that they're racist or have some type of questionable views. That's
another dog whistle.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So, all right, the race card. I'm asked the guy. I said, I'm still waiting for, some receipts or something to say, show me a picture.
Show me where.
So he was like, well, I'm gonna contact the who's the administrator so we can get him removed permanently. I said, this is how you find out, And then I said, well, why don't you just make a post and state why I should be removed and just post why, show me. Cause I would gladly like to hear that, that I should be put out because I posted a news fact right after somebody else posted a political article that you all loved.
Right. And had no problems. No
problems.
And nobody had the race card in that rotation.
Bingo. And nobody said anything about other people who are posting things that might have been questionable.
Right.
Nobody said anything. But now it's like that. So my whole argument with them was, said, as law enforcement officers, how do you literally support somebody that committed all these felonies, that, like you said, was a sexual offender, crooked businessman to the tune of $485 million. Now, mind you, they were talking about the other guy, the Democrat, was that somebody got $83,000 payment for transferring from one place to another, and something like $83,000 didn't go in his pocket, right? But $83,000 versus $485 million. Right?
Yeah, that's a big jump. The
$83,000 guy, they want to resign and he's so this and that, but the $485 million guy is
a hero.
Yeah, that they just trying to set him up.
Right. And it's all fake news anyway.
Right. So I said, so his co-conspirators who turned witness against him, they're part of the kangaroo court. So it's like everybody came up with, and then they said they mentioned something about Kamala Harris, which is, this article has nothing to do with Kamala Harris. It's about the trial, right? So they said, how she got her start?
How?
So in their circles,
don't tell me. Okay,
they're talking about that she just slept around and was given the we call it the hawk tour.
Oh
yeah, one of the guys on one of the news things said call her the original hawk tour.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm like, she dated somebody, and that means she's not qualified to something that she went to school for.
Right.
And she was elected by the people
pretty much
several times.
Pretty much. And you have to be vetted
yes.
in order to be considered for a vice presidency. So basically you got to have your shit in order.
Yes.
Which
is one of the reasons why I liked two of the guys that was in that running for
her vice president.
Okay. And I really liked them, but then after the fact, when I found out that they had little something in there that could have been a thing, and this Waltz guy, he really didn't have anything.
Right.
So I was like, okay, she picked
good.
Yeah,
I think she picked
did.
She made a good choice, I think.
But it was like one of the officers says, and there's somebody we are totally on the different ends of the political spectrum and certain things, whatever. But as a police officer, I always respected him.
Right.
And I thought he was a knowledgeable guy, and whatever. So he said, it's really not about that. It's about conservative versus liberal, and we have conservative views, and they have liberal views, and blah 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 blah. I said, no, I think it's more than that, because even if somebody, first of all, calling him a liberal. I mean, a conservative.
Yeah.
So a guy who cheated on his first wife with his second wife.
Yeah.
Cheated on his second wife with his third wife.
Yeah.
Cheated on his third wife with a hooker, a porn star. I ain't gonna call her a hooker. She was a porn star. Okay.
Is there a difference? I'm sorry. Is this semantics? Did I miss something?
One is planned.
Oh, okay.
Planned activity.
And usually a little more money.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're I said, you comparing somebody who has the morals of a $2 crack whore, right?
Don't say crack whore.
I shouldn't say crack whore.
No, you should not.
A $2.
He has no morals.
Yeah.
That's all you have to say.
Well, I wanted them to really feel the But I'm like, you're comparing that person, and the fact that he was impeached twice for things that he's done, whether, he was removed or not, didn't even matter because that was a political thing while he wasn't removed.
Right.
And all the stuff that's stacked up and stuff that's still coming.
Right.
So, and because you're still going to support him because he's conservative.
Well, people say that they just vote the party. But, and
I want them to say it.
My answer to that is you don't have to vote for him.
Right.
You can vote the party.
Right.
Because there are other things for everybody out there that's listening. It's not just the presidency. Right. There are other things that you vote for because sometimes people don't know that.
Right.
So you can vote your party,
right,
but you don't necessarily have to support him.
Right. And it's not like the information's out there.
Right.
So it's not like you could say, well, I really didn't know. Yes, you did. You didn't want to know.
Fake news, psycho.
Bingo.
It's fake
Bingo.
news.
But now this is the disappointing part for me, right? So, I've worked with police officers for a long time, 20 some odd years, whatever. And the thing that really is disappointing is because as a police officer, you're supposed to have this ability to decipher bullshit, right? You're supposed to have that. And you're supposed to have this ability to put things together and be that's reasonable,
okay,
logical.
Right.
This is how you build your articulable, reasonable, suspicious, or your probable cause. You bring all these things that's presented to you, and use what tools you have in your brain and whatever, and you come up with a decision that says, oh, this person most likely did it, and you charge them, whatever.
Right.
So if you have a police officer that actually still supports this guy after all that's been said and done, and it's not like you can't see the video, you can't see the audio of him saying certain things, like saying, racist stuff that, and if you dismiss that, that's whatever. But the spotlight's on you. All of the things that you do that he's done, and you can't put that together and say, oh, that's probable cause to say, know what I'm saying?
That he's not qualified.
Bingo, right? So that's my problem with it. And I wanted to call them out because, you can't say later on anything with any weight that, somebody's guilty of such and such. You've lost you're not qualified.
Right. You're saying you lose your credibility.
Yeah, your credibility is shot. You cannot say, you can't comment on anything else that somebody does because in my eyes, I'm saying, whatever.
Right.
My eyes is you're not credible to make a reasonable or logical assessment.
Right.
And it was like, if it was a Democrat that did the same thing he was, I don't care, party, whatever, I'm not voting for him.
Right.
I will vote for the other guy because it's more than whether somebody, believes in the same ideals that I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
It's about who's going to represent you and your country. Mm-hmm. And the outside world has to be laughing.
Oh, I'm sure they've been laughing at us. They've been laughing at us for a good minute. I'm sure
yes.
they have. I've been watching the DNC convention, and it's something I normally don't do, but it's energized and it's revved up. But one of the things that caught my attention, Oprah said that she's a registered independent.
Okay.
And she votes for the person whose morals matches hers, or whose morals come as close to hers as possible. Mm-hmm. And if you just do that, are you saying that this is where your morals are?
Right. Exactly. There you go. You can't be that conservative Christian person that you claim to be, and then you're voting for a guy who did all of these things.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
You can't. You can say, okay, well, I'm a conservative. I get that, but you have a guy here that does not represent your
right.
Ideals.
Your Christian values.
Right.
Unless these are your Christian values. And if that's the case, just say that that's the case and stop being a Bible thumper.
Bingo. When it's convenient.
Right.
When it's so-called support your thing.
Right.
And then, to me that is the top of hypocrisy. That is the zenith. You at the top of the pyramid, the peak
on Mount Everest.
Yes, of hypocrisy. You cannot be a law enforcement officer. You cannot say you're for law enforcement. You're not for law and order. You can't say that this person and that person should be locked up like they did when when Hillary.
Oh, lock her
right?
up was the
Lock
chant
her up,
forever.
right?
Yeah.
Even when I posted
and
something
I'm still
on
there. I can't even remember why they were saying lock her up now. Was it
because of emails?
The emails, the server. Okay, okay.
That every even the Republican that they were respected did it. The Secretary of State did it.
Right,
it was kind of
right.
like but everybody said lock her up.
Yeah.
And then he goes on and says, if you're being indicted or you're being charged, you're under suspicion of such and such, you should not be able to run for president. He talk all this stuff about, and it's on there. Everybody's cheering and and I agree. You can't. It's gonna make this country, turmoil and da 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 da. Right. And now, where are they at now? Crickets. Right. Crickets. So yeah, that was the whole thing on the top of Hypocrisy 911. I was specifically talking about law enforcement officers, whoever you are, and I'm not pointing out any particular law enforcement officers because I've been in discussions with law enforcement officers from all over the country.
Right.
And I'm not talking about any particular demographic because, there's some that are, white, black, whatever. So it's not, I'm not going to say when all you white officers think this way, and it's because not all white officers.
Right.
So, but if you are a law enforcement officer and you support this guy, you have to accept the fact, whether you believe it or not, or you say it or not, you are being a hypocrite.
Okay. So let me ask you this. How far is that slippery slope to, and one thing might not have anything to do with the other, but to like these officers who ripped this guy off, like where do your morals go? And you know what I'm saying?
It makes you question,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like, doesn't it make you question, like, what would you do next?
Right.
If it's okay for you to support this guy, then you might agree with taking this guy's money.
Right. And somebody made a comment one time that said, when the election came and if Trump lost or whatever, get the powder ready, boys. And you know what that means. Right? Like, get the guns ready. We're going to
right.
Like, come on, So you're in a cult. That's what I mentioned too. I said you're in a cult. So we're not in a cult. The definition of a cult, you fit it to a T. This is the definition of a cult. You dismissed all your values, all your ideas based on this one guy that you apply to everybody else.
Right.
Right. But this one guy, because
he gets a pass. Yeah.
And now you have to analyze this. Why does he get a pass?
Right.
Because outside of let's take away what he did. Let's say he didn't do all those things, which is to me is heavy. That's way a lot. You have a guy who is disrespectful to every demographic except rich white males.
Yep.
That support him.
Yes.
Throw it in there,
yes.
right?
Yes.
You have somebody who's
because he don't like Pence right now.
Exactly. Because Pence didn't agree with him. Kiss the ring. Right. So then you have somebody who mentioned Africa and African nations.
Shithole countries. Right.
But I think we should let the Norwegians in. Okay. So you can dress it up.
Ban Muslims. Don't forget.
Ban Muslims. That's right. Mm-hmm. And his number one guy, matter of fact, his attorney was talking about putting ankle bracelets on all Muslims that come into the country, and maybe the ones that's already here.
Build a wall.
Yeah. So if you take all that and you still defend the guy saying, well, that's not what he meant, or he's not racist because he said that.
How do you know what he meant if you're not in his head?
If you don't think that means something, the problem is you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's not anybody. It's you. If you have somebody who says, they have it on there that he's disrespectful to a lot of females,
women.
Women. He always has a problem with women.
Absolutely.
When the journalists who question him about certain things, and then don't let it be a black woman.
Oh no.
Or Asian woman. When he mentioned something about China, and she's like, well, why did you mention that with me?
Right.
I'm American. So if you can't see all that and it's clear as day, the problem is you. So you have to reevaluate yourself.
Right.
And if you're with him and that's how you feel, like him, and you have those feelings, then you got to say, well, you know what? I feel that way. I don't have a problem with how I feel, but don't get mad when people call you, call a duck a duck. Don't play this, the high and mighty role and then turn around and say, oh, this person should go to jail. Or this person is corrupt, or this person is, whatever. You no longer have those privileges anymore.
Right. Right.
So that is the thing. I was really disappointed with that. And,
and you're still going to be online and you're still going to call people out.
I sure am. I sure am. And you know what? The thing is, I don't hate, if people, they said, well, you hate Trump. I said, listen, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate Trump. I can't think of anybody that I hate.
Right.
Not even the Baltimore Ravens. You know
what? You're not even going to sit up here in Baltimore and talk bad about the Ravens.
But listen, I'm a Steelers fan, and how we get down with their, but I've met the Ravens. I've actually talked with them, and I don't have no dislike for the Ravens. Right. But football time, it's you're not giving them a break. But I'm not going to say that I hate anybody, and you can't say because I'm bringing out facts.
Right.
Verifiable facts. Let me say that, not alternative facts. You can't say that
not fake news.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. So, you guys, I want to know what you think. How do you feel about former and current law enforcement officers who support Trump, regardless of all the things that he's accused of, convicted of, found responsible for? That's what they say in civil court. He was found responsible for that rape.
Yeah, in the tune of $400 million. You were very responsible with that amount of money.
What do you say to law enforcement that that you think should be one of the primary people that says we respect the law?
You know what? Part of me feels like you probably shouldn't even be discussing this. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, don't discuss politics and religion at work. Right. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But don't disregard how I feel.
I like the fact that they do, only because it lets me know how you really feel.
Who you are, yeah.
And and make no mistakes about it. If you feel a certain, everybody's gonna be biased in some sort of way.
Right.
I'm not, I'm biased in certain ways, whatever.
Right.
So
Steelers.
No, I'm gonna tell you, like when I first came up to this area, I didn't know really much about it. So, when I was in the academy, I was listening to all the stories that the instructors were saying and the sample police reports, and I was like, oh.
What did I walk into?
I was like, I don't want to stay on the east side. I'm gonna get stuck with a needle, or I'm gonna have somebody a crazy European that's gonna come in and so that was my,
right.
I wanted to go to the west side because that's what,
It depends on what part of the west side.
Well, true, that's true. But from the information that I was being fed, so we have our biases. But it was up to me to determine, like, say, okay, that's, everybody on the east side is not such and such, or everybody on the west side is not, and that's what we do. But, I just want to know if people, here's the thing. Does that kind of verify or justify some of the thoughts or feelings that people have about trusting police officers?
Oh, absolutely. And not just that, I feel like you carry that into the street.
Yeah.
You carry that into the street. So when people say he stopped me because I'm black, driving while black, maybe it's true.
Right. And I'm gonna say, and
I'm not even gonna say maybe it's true.
This is the horrible thing about it, because people are coming at me with this race card thing, and I'm starting trouble, whatever. But it's been many times where I've defended, probably more times than not, defended police officers. I could say, like, there's a white guy here in this particular area, and he did something, whatever. And I was like, I know he didn't do it because of X, Y, and Z, or she didn't do it because of X, Y, and Z. But there's always going to be somebody who does. And it applies for both sides, too.
Right.
So, my thing is this: when you have those feelings, you have to examine yourself. Can you honestly do a job and do it fairly with those feelings or that those beliefs?
Right.
I don't know.
I call it undying loyalty, because that's what it feels like to me.
Yes.
It's just like they are very, very loyal to this man for whatever reason.
Mind you, those guys that got jacked up for invading the Capitol, they were police officers. There were local politicians. There were military personnel.
And they're getting charged and they're doing time. Yeah. But he's going to let them all out when he...
Yeah, that was another thing too. Yeah. Like, okay, so the one who respect law enforcement, so you're going to let all these people out there put these officers' lives in danger.
Right. Yeah. And all the politicians that were there.
Yeah. That to me, that's alarming. That is alarming that I can't, if something was to happen in this country, I don't know if I can trust the law enforcement to do what needs to be done as far as when it comes to taking sides. And I'm telling you, a long time ago, they said, we had this conversation about something like, what if the presidency and the Congress was at odds with each other and you had to pick a side, and you say all three branches was basically saying, I'm not listening to the other branch. I'm going to do it or whatever. Who do you support?
Right.
And I thought about it. I said, you know what? I'm going to support the Congress because, and I didn't say because the Democrats or the Republicans.
Right. You said Congress.
I said
the
Congress because Congress is the direct represent exactly, and all powers started with the Congress. So I don't think I could trust, just based on what I'm hearing from different people from all over the country. Right. Law enforcement. I'm specifically talking about law enforcement officers. I don't trust that when it comes down to it, they'll do everything that's right. Okay. That's just me, just because of what I'm hearing. And it,
I mean, that's been clearly represented. Okay.
It's nothing personal like this. I don't have anything against anybody. We can still disagree.
Right.
And
still be respectful
exactly.
of each other.
We can I have one guy that me and him, we go at it, and it's fun. It's actually fun when he and I do it, whatever. But it was like, he was like, hey man, you want to come get a beer? Da 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 da. Right. And I didn't drink, but I would go out with him and have a beer with him. We can talk this and that, whatever. So it's cool. I can do that. I don't have it, but the thing is, it's not reciprocated with most people. Right. If I say, here, these are the facts that, and all you guys didn't agree with it. I'm a troublemaker. Right. Because I don't go with the green. So.
I would love to hear other people's opinions, and maybe we can read some online. I would definitely love to hear other people's opinions, but it does make you question a whole lot of things. It really makes you question a whole lot of things.
And I want to hear from law enforcement officers as well about how do you feel about other law enforcement officers who support Trump, and what was the other one, the people? Does that shake your trust?
Well, our community never really had a lot of trust in police.
we got history.
And policing. Yeah, we have history. And,
but
for a reason.
What's our word of the day?
Hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy
is our word of the day.
Hypocrisy is our word of the day. So this is week number, I don't know, whatever it is.
6
is August. If you guys listen to the podcast in August, we have a word of the day. I mean, word of whatever. And again, at the end of the month, if you have all the words of the day, you'll be eligible to win a prize. So, and we'll be out making, we call it connections with different businesses.
Appearances. Connections.
To see if we can, also support local businesses, whatever, with free prizes. So,
hey, and if you have a local business that you would like us to talk about or like us to come and sample product, we would love to do that.
Yes. Oh, I did have some seafood salad for you, lady she's a caterer.
Oh, nice.
And I tasted it was really,
you said
really good.
Had some seafood salad.
It was old because you couldn't eat.
I couldn't eat.
It was during your absence, so I had to eat all 4 of them.
So I'm sure that tore you up.
But let me tell you, I'm gonna get some more, and we're gonna do a review.
Okay.
And see what you guys think. So
gotcha.
I thought it was pretty good. So you guys, thank you for dropping in.
Yes.
And as always, check us out and give us your opinions. We have we call it thing. We have a forum online. Yes. We have a forum online. You can go in there and leave your opinions, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. Just let us know. And
we're out. Thank you, family, for listening to the latest episode of Hot Topics. As usual, listen, like, share, subscribe. Ta.
This is what I do. This is what I do.